I got thrown into hosting events for Merce Cunningham when I was working there. And New York taught me a lot about tables and place cards and seating and the importance of that. You know, when you're seating people like Oscar de la Renta and Mikhail Baryshnikov and the mayor of New York, it becomes an art form and you have to get very good at it very quickly. And I don't know, it just kind of stuck with me. And, you know, my debutante days, we went to a lot of parties. You know, it was a year filled with parties. And so in my head, I have a lot of party visions. And it's like getting dressed. I love parties because it's like I love dressing the table and making sure that people feel welcome, which I think is just the number one hostess tip ever, is your guests need to feel welcome and they need to feel at home. Even if it's a fancy event, you can still make sure that your guests are well taken care of, the food is good, and it's good company. That's just all you do. It's quite simple.
Thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode. Now it's time for my favorite segment where we get to hear from you, our listeners, about your favorite fashion moments.
Hi, this is Ronnie from Chicago, and I'd like to share one of my favorite fashion moments. And it is coming from the Mariah Carey. So this was, I think in 1997, the MTV Awards, and Mariah had just separated from her husband, and she was bearing skin. She was ready for the world, and I think at least I was ready for her. So she had on like a black tube top, and then she had a really long black skirt with a high slit. And everything was black. Her navel was out. She had these strappy, high-heeled sandals, and it was so super duper sexy. And I absolutely loved it. And so that was a moment that really stood out for me in my teenage years. And it's like, okay, Mariah, bring it. We could take it.
Sutton Stracke is one of my favorite cast members on Bravo TV's Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. The Southern belle from Augusta, Georgia, trained as a professional ballerina and worked her way up in the world of development to become the successful business owner that she is today. Watching Sutton on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is definitely a treat, but there's so much resilience behind the glamour and love for couture. I hope that you enjoy learning more about her journey and our shared love for Ralph Simmons. Check it out. Welcome, Sutton, to a fashion moment. So excited to have you. So, just to rewind for a second, you're actually healing from a bilateral sprain. I mean, the style never stops. You were in your wheelchair looking fabulous on Instagram. How are you?
I'm good. I was in the wheelchair because I was in a hotel that was really huge. And the doctor gave me strict instructions not to put any weight on my left foot.
Oh,
and, my room was 1/10 of a mile from the lobby. So they just gave me a wheelchair, and nothing ages you better than a wheelchair. But
Yes.
My friend Garcelle was in the room across the hall from me, so she got to have the grand duty of wheelchair pusher for the day. But I got the little scooter, and then a week later they put me in a boot, so it all worked out.
Oh my goodness. Are you still in the boot? Are you back to normal? Are you still?
I'm still in the boot. I see.
Oh my goodness.
This week, and when I went to go get, I'd had some MRIs, and we knew that it was a sprain, but it got worse and worse, and so I did an X-ray to make sure that nothing was broken. And he said, "You've got to stay off your foot." And I thought, this is going to be impossible. How am I going to stay off my foot? So I have a feeling I might be in the boot for a little bit longer than expected because I didn't rest it for the first 3 weeks. So,
oh my goodness.
I know.
What is the shoe game happening right now with your other foot?
My other foot is in a Birkenstock.
Yes, I love it.
I have like these furry Birkenstocks. I got 4 different colors. I have a really weird form of neuropathy in my feet that we're working on. And so the Birkenstock actually helps with that. My feet are a mess. So I look at my shoe closet and I just cry because I can't wear any of my shoes. But one day we will get there.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So you're from Augusta, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
How did growing up there, shape your style now? Like, was there someone in your family that inspired you? Was it your community?
Funny, yeah, because the South, we're very pearl clutchers and a handbag and shoe matching kind of people. But my father was quite the fashionista himself, and which is funny. He was a cowboy from Texas, turned architect. So his clothes were always very neat and well organized. And, he had beautiful shoes, beautiful suits, and even his hunting attire was, just the typical kind of English hunting attire. He loved doing all of that. So I shopped with him. I learned a lot from him. His aesthetic became my own aesthetic. So, yeah. And then I think just my ballet world, growing up in Augusta, I was in ballet, ensconced in ballet, and seeing all of the costumes and doing fittings and all of that just kind of became my reality. So, between the two, there you go.
I love it. What would you say, just, from growing up in Augusta and just, just the course of your life, what would you say are the top 3 style rules that everyone should live by?
Well, it's so funny. I think about this a lot. I think the first rule of fashion is wear what you love, and don't be dictated by what magazines tell you is in fashion. If you wear what you love and if you wear what you're comfortable in, that's chic. I think also having those basics in your closet, like, we all say this, the black dress, it doesn't have to be little, but a black dress, I think jeans and a white t-shirt, keep those current, because white,
I love that.
Just keep your jeans current, keep a white t-shirt current and clean. And then, I don't know, I think just never forget vintage pieces that you can add, because listen, seriously, if you've got a black dress, pair of jeans, and a t-shirt, you can build on all of those 3 things, and you can go from black tie to, a barbecue.
You mentioned jeans. Like, do you have a go-to right now that you're just like obsessed with? Because I'm looking for some jeans. It's been a while.
Well, it's funny because we have some jeans in our store that I love. I look around. Jeans go from really inexpensive to expensive. I wouldn't say to spend too much on them. Some jeans are like $800. That's ridiculous. But I don't know. I think right now we're seeing a lot of like a wider leg jean, which is weird for me because I have really thin legs. So it's hard for me to wear those. And kind of like that boyfriend cut is still going. But they're doing so many different things. We have a pair of black jeans. It's a waxed denim. It's black waxed denim. And they're so comfortable. And they look like leather, but they're denim. So they're.
Oh my God, I love it. Yeah. I'm putting that in the show notes, and I will be personally checking those out.
They're really great. And these girls live here in LA, so it's which is awesome.
Yes, local business. We love that. Love that. So you mentioned ballet. Dancing has always been a passion of yours. So, what sort of inspired you to pursue dance? Was it like, how was it introduced to you?
I don't know. I remember I took ballet lessons when I was very little and quit, and then decided when I was 10, I wanted to do ballet. And it's just something that I loved. And I guess maybe I liked being tortured because ballet is so torturism. It's a crazy art form, but I loved it. I loved every second of it. And it really shaped who I am as a person.
I mean, your posture must be like like amazing.
Well, it used to be, I feel like I'm losing it. I'm like, I need to, and in fact, I do Pilates with a personal trainer who danced for New York City Ballet. So we get along very well. And she said, Sutton, we've got to get back doing ballet bar. And I'm looking at this boot on my foot like, okay, yeah, we do.
So in your early days as a dancer, like at one point, I remember reading that you moved to New York City and at one point you were a live-in nanny.
I was. I moved to New York and, I moved to New York without a job and got there on a Saturday, and on Monday got a job as a receptionist. And, the whole point of me moving to New York was to dance. And that job was really 9 to 5. So I'd go take classes at night. And a couple of months in, I was like, I need to find a place to live and I need to dance during the day. And I found a job as a live-in nanny. And so it allowed me the opportunity to dance during the day and then have this job at night. And I got fed dinner. So that was great because I was paid $150 a week. So yeah, which I spent almost all of my money on dance classes. It was tough times, but honestly, it's like, when you're in your early 20s, you kind of think back in those moments where you really had nothing, but it was so fun.
Yes, agreed. There's nothing like it.
Like what can we do for free?
Exactly. And, it's so interesting because, watching on the show, like, people may not know like that was a part of your journey. Like,
that's right.
No, so it's so great to hear. It's really great to hear like that, like anyone, you've had those challenging times and you overcame them. And, I'm just curious, during that time in your 20s, what were some of the key lessons that really stuck out for you during that period?
Well, I just think that hard work, I was never shy for doing anything that allowed me to dance. I worked as a barista in Starbucks. I did anything that I could possibly do to dance. And that was my focus. And I was not ashamed to be a coat check girl or whatever it was. If a job came up and we made some money, I would do it. And it was just that perseverance and not really caring. And, during that time, it's funny because I really didn't have any money to spend. And I remember New Year's Eve, I spent like $20 on this dress. And I was like, I wish I had that dress. It was so cute. I'd put a jacket on top of it now and kind of wear it away. Because, I don't have the body of a 25-year-old anymore, but I could still wear that dress and kind of do something to it because it was cute.
Yeah.
Of course, I didn't do that, unfortunately. So hold on to those pieces. Even if it's $20, I have a piece from this little place in Paris. And I think it was about the same, like $25. I still have that dress and I love it. And it holds so many memories for me, but it wasn't expensive. Anyway, I digress into fashion because that's,
it's all good. We love it. We love the stories. You struggled for a while, but then you moved over onto the business side, the development side. That's so like, right. What led you there? What led you to a career in development? Well, what was that like?
Yeah, I think that a lot of dancers do this. In fact, there's a whole organization called Dancers in Transition. And I realized in my later 20s that, I decided not to be a professional dancer. I didn't want to travel and tour and all of that. And, my passion was also in choreography. And I just, to be honest, I kind of chickened out. So I worked for a man named Merce Cunningham, and I was his studio manager, and which was great for me because I was in the studio all day, every day, and took classes all the time. It was a good transition for me. But I wrote a part of a grant for education. And the next day they came up and said, will you please come downstairs and work in the office? And I remember I went over to Merce, who was just like a grandfather to me. And I was crying because I was telling him that I was going to leave the studio to go downstairs and work in development. And he could have cared less. He was like, that's great.
Good, go for it, do it. He didn't think I was leaving the organization, but I felt like I was. But so I just started writing grants and doing all of that kind of stuff and working on the event side as well. And I learned so much working there. So, it put me in the business side of things, and I was happy.
Absolutely. Is there anything that you do in particular to sort of connect to the dancer within, or, the choreography? Do you like pop up every once in a while for some instruction just to dust things off a bit?
Yeah. I mean, without the boot, I love to take a little ballet bar. In fact, last year with Lisa Rinna and Erica, and my instructor came, and we just did a bar with her. So I love doing stuff like that. But I think as far as like my education with ballet and choreography, I think kind of life is a dance. I know that sounds stupid, but how you costume yourself and how you, especially with events, like it's all sort of choreographed in my brain. And life is like that as well. So we're all on this journey, and we kind of have to choreograph our own lives. So I'm pretty deep into that right now.
I love that. Choreograph your own life. Love. So, how in the world, Sutton, did you end up on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills?
I know, right? I don't know. It was something that I thought about it. They had come to me a couple of times, sort of interested, and I wasn't ready. And it came to me in a time where I just thought, all right, let's try this on. Again, it's just one of those, try on the costume, see if it fits. And, it really fit. I really loved last season. I enjoyed doing it so much. I loved getting to know all of the girls. Besides all of the conflict, I think at the end of the day, we have a camaraderie that is unparalleled. And, it's interesting women, I think.
I love it. I love it. I'm like, at the end of the day, I know that everyone, it's like a sisterhood, really. And it's great to see all of you guys together. And I love that Garcelle, was pushing your wheelchair. That's
oh my God.
amazing.
I love me some Garcelle.
We love her too.
So we just look at each other like, what in the hell have we gotten into?
I can only imagine. I'm curious, what do you love the most about being on the show?
I think for me, it has challenged me in a way that I didn't even know I could be challenged. It pushes you to explore the depths of your personality, which sometimes we don't want to do because there's parts of our personality that we don't like, and you see them. And so you have to deal with that. So that's a big thing. I think for me, it just made me a lot more independent of what I had normally relied on, as far as like with friends and that kind of stability, because you really are on your own with these women and you just have to trust in yourself. So I've learned a lot, and I've become a lot more outspoken. And I was just telling someone the other day, I had a conflict with somebody at a dinner, a group of friends, and she said something that really bothered me. And I said, that is very offensive, what you just said, and you owe me an apology. And she said, I'm sorry you feel that way. And I said, that is not an apology. And I thought, are we filming this? Because I feel like I'm on a reality show right now. But normally,
that's really interesting.
Yeah, normally I probably wouldn't have said anything, but now I'm just like, I call people out, and not in a mean way, but just like, I disagree with what you're saying. I'm more forceful with my opinion, I guess.
I love that. That's actually something I'm working on.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it.
Keeping it all in. It's like, no,
let me tell you
what that person said was not cool.
When you tell your friends something about how you really feel in the moment, you quickly learn who your real friends are. Because if they can't take it, you're just expressing your feelings, and your friends need to be able to hear your feelings and work them through with you.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, I'm working on it, Sutton.
You do
I'm
it.
Working on it.
Girl, you just do it. You just say, I disagree with what you just said. Just say it.
I love it. I love it. Well, I got to ask, like, how in the world do you plan your outfits? Like when you're filming, like, do you have like a whole team? Like, is this something you're thinking about weeks and weeks in advance? Like how does it work for you?
Well, it's this season was different because I was a bit more prepared. I love when people respond like, you need to get a stylist. Sutton needs a new stylist. She needs to fire her stylist. I'm like, well, I am my own stylist. So there's that. No, I think what I do is I do have a rack of clothes that I kind of build up for the season and pull from there. Just so I don't repeat things or, just so it's kind of different from my closet. And once I wear them on the show, they go into my closet. So that's kind of how I do it. And then sometimes I get panicky and have to find something really quick. So you never know with this crazy bunch of ladies. We're, always doing something different.
I mean, you guys bring it. Like it's never just like a, regular schmegular event. You guys show up like it's a straight runway. And I'm just like, how in the world
well,
do you do this?
Well, it's fun to see what everybody wears because obviously some girls do like straight runway and they're head to toe like that. And then some people are just more understated. And I think I'm somewhere in between. I like dressing up and doing all of that, but I'm not a big label lady.
Yeah.
So I always try to be different and I try to stay true to myself and what I want to wear, so sometimes I win it and sometimes I lose it. It just depends.
You know what? But at the end of the day, Sutton shows up. It is you. It is what you love.
Wear what you love. Don't love what you wear. You really have to wear it and own it.
I love it. Don't let the trends make you.
No.
I love that. So, you're obviously we see a lot of Dolce & Gabbana on the screen when you show up. It's fabulous. And you're great friends with the designers and, bonded, with them over your love for dance, which is really cool.
That's right. They're both big arts patrons and love ballet especially. So that's been very cool to get to know that part of their selves.
Now, is there a runway show that like stands out the most for you? Like, is there a collection where you're just like, I die every time you see it?
Well, I will say just for shows in general, and I'm kind of a couture. I know that sounds so ridiculous, but I love the couture shows. And when you go to couture, you're there as a buyer, not anything else. You're not there just to be seen. It's a very serious fashion week, and the Chanel couture is always so transformative and ethereal and beautiful. And I've only been a couple of times because I don't get like the front row seats to Chanel. I don't wear a lot of Chanel, so that's why I would imagine. Dior kills it every time. I'm a huge Ralph Simmons fan, and I was really sad to see him go, but it doesn't matter. The House of Dior is the House of Dior. And actually, I love their the fall winter ready to wear for 2021. It's the best. It's the best I've seen from Dior since Ralph left. And I love Maria. And I think like finally, like Dior, it's so good. I'm going to go crazy. I'm like, I need to go to Paris.
Oh my God, I can't wait, right? Can't wait to travel again.
I know.
It's going to be great.
We're just we have to be patient and do it when it's safe. That's what we're banking on. It's coming.
It's coming. Now what I love about you is the tiaras, like your tiara game. Every year you get a fabulous one from, Dolce & Gabbana, but your philosophy is that you put on a tiara, it transforms your day. Like
it's bad hair day wear.
The tiara.
It's bad hair day wear. I'm serious. I go to Augusta, my hometown a lot. I did before the pandemic, and I brought a tiara with me for this gala. I didn't end up wearing it, but a friend of mine did. And she brought it back. We always have kind of like an after party the next morning for brunch. And she brought my tiara back, and every single person put that tiara on, including one of my friend's husbands. And everybody looked amazing in it. I'm like, see, this is what tiaras, this is their purpose. They make just everybody look like $1 million.
I love it. I need to wear one to the grocery
Do it.
store.
I mean, you might look a little crazy.
Why not?
You'd look
Why
a little
not?
crazy in a mask and a tiara. But
like, no.
I mean, no, I say do it. Just no.
I mean, it could be fun as long as it's like really chic. People might be like, "Oh my God, where
are
you
you
from?"
single?" Because I don't know if that could be
In the middle of a divorce. Sutton. Currently in the middle of a
you're
divorce.
Gonna have to put on that tiara. I say put the tiara on. Divorce equals
Why not,
tiara.
right?
Yes.
Thank you. Very challenging, but
you'll get through
I'm
it.
like, hey,
Yep.
I'm gonna work through it. So I'll get my tiara.
That's right.
But you are like the go-to like queen when it comes to hosting events. Like everyone, even people who have an issue with you are like, you know what? Gotta give it to Sutton. She's like the best party event host ever of all time. Like, where did that come from? Like, how, like, what makes you the hostess with the most?
I'm not quite sure. I'm not, I got thrown into hosting events for Merce Cunningham when I was working there. And New York taught me a lot about tables and place cards and seating and the importance of that. And, when you're seating people like Oscar de la Renta and Mikhail Baryshnikov and, the mayor of New York, it becomes an art form, and you have to get very good at it very quickly. And I don't know, it just kind of stuck with me. And, my debutante days, we went to a lot of parties. It was a year filled with parties. And so in my head, I have a lot of party visions. And, it's like getting dressed. I love parties because it's like I love dressing the table and making sure that people feel welcome. And which I think is just the number one hostess tip ever is your guests need to feel welcome and they need to feel at home. Even if it's a like fancy event, you can still make sure that your guests are well taken care of. The food is good and it's good company. That's just all you do. It's quite simple.
Well, you're the best at it.
Aw,
Everyone's
thank you.
like, oh my God, Sutton's event. So that's amazing.
Well, it's so interesting because I never thought about getting into this. I mean, I did work events a long time in New York. And I've just now added events to like the Sutton concept. So, we have a beautiful space. I know, and it's just something new. And again, we're just kind of trying it on. But we have a beautiful space in West Hollywood, and we are open you can rent out our space. There's a back courtyard, or we can come to your house if you want to do a little luncheon. We can create a table and make it beautiful. So we're just kind of like brushing. I'm dusting off the cobwebs and getting back into events myself. So we'll see how that goes.
That is extremely exciting. Love, love, love. So you guys, if you have something going on in LA, come check out
our space.
Concept.
It's such a beautiful space, and people it's very enchanting, I will say.
Mm-hmm.
Especially now.
Just for people who don't know, like what is the Sutton concept, and like, describe your store. Like, is it available online? Like where did the inspiration come from?
The store is called Sutton, and I've been wanting to do a boutique for a long time, and finally got the nerve up at post-divorce. I think post-divorce, you find yourself willing to do things outside of your comfort zone because you don't have a comfort zone anymore. So I was like, let's do it. So we kind of changed, and I wanted it to be very like coming into someone's boudoir, it's like a little cottage. And it's fashion, it's art. We have rotating art throughout. We have furniture. It's all for sale. We have vintage stuff. We have jewelry, like everything that's on the floor in the store is for sale. We're so excited because we just got all of these beautiful rattan pieces from an artist who's Mexican, lives in Miami. And we have the most beautiful rattan chandelier hanging in the store right now. I'm dying. I know. I'm like, I'm not going to buy it.
Right.
I'm not going to buy it. It's beautiful.
It must be so hard.
It's so hard. And like, so we just put all of that stuff in the store. So we change the store up all the time. So it doesn't look the same when you come in from, season to season. We paint the walls and we just have fun with it. And, we host little events and we want people to it's more of an experience. It's a destination. It's not a store. I hate to think of it as a store.
Yeah.
And there's something for everybody. We have like beautiful dog biscuits, for instance. Like there's just weird things. Yeah, I know. It's the perfect gift for someone who has fancy pooches. So, or, not fancy pooches and they just want to spoil them. I collect English. Silver is in there. It's just, kind of a little hodgepodge of what I think of as elegance. So, yeah, but people can come in and just sit. Somebody said, I just want to sit down and have a cup of coffee. I said, you can do that here. You're welcome to just kind of sit, enjoy the art, enjoy the beauty, and kind of get away. It's really small. And our pieces you're not going to see them on other people, which I love. Look, who doesn't shop at Neiman Marcus or Net-a-Porter? We all do. But this, as for a difference, so for just a little, eclectic spin on your wardrobe.
Special.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. So what do you love the most about being a business owner?
Well,
I know it's challenging.
Well, no, I was going to say, I think what I love the most is the challenge and trying to think through the pandemic. And when we closed, we were open for like 5 months and had like several really great events. So then the doors were closed. And not only were the doors closed, but people stopped shopping for clothes. They really want to stay in. I mean, I'm guilty as charged. We want to just stay in as comfy as we can. So kind of switching out some of what we've been buying, just adapting. So that part I really enjoy, like kind of getting to know the human spirit and getting to know what people like. It's really fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can only imagine. I know that me personally, I actually never stopped because I had this like, okay, what am I wearing after the pandemic is over?
That's right. That's what we like. We want you to be thinking about that.
I'm like, what? Like, what does version 2.0 post pandemic look like?
So true, because, the LA restaurants are just slowly starting to open outside and you cannot show up, in sweatpants and a t-shirt.
No, God, no.
And, we shouldn't. That's not one of the things that's great about humanity is that ability to kind of embrace your social atmosphere and, get dressed up. It doesn't mean that you can't wear your sweats and your t-shirt at home, but it's kind of nice and it makes you feel good. And to appreciate beauty, that's what kind of drives my life. I love flowers. I love, beautiful fabrics. And I think we all do. We all want to see that.
Yeah, you feel so much better when you actually just
it brings joy. It brings joy to the human spirit to see beauty. So, I say celebrate it.
I love it. Well, how do you balance it all, with your children? You have the show, you're running a business. Like, how do you do it all, Sutton?
I'm not quite sure on that one. I tell you, I don't know. Do you have children?
Yep, I have a 3 and a 4-year-old.
Oh, goodness, they are little.
I know.
Well, it was hard during the divorce. It was very hard because the first year I had them except for every other weekend. And then the second year we changed to every other week. And I thought I didn't know what to do. I was crying every day. What was I going to do without these children? And then you kind of live week on, week off, and you're like, well, wait a minute. It's not, you're like, wait.
I'm hitting that corner now, Sutton. Exactly. I'm hitting the corner.
Yeah, you do. You're like, wait a minute here. So I think,
Yeah.
I try to but now my kids are teenagers, so everything is different.
Oh, they were like, "Oh, mom, you're savage." I love that.
Oh, did you
I
hear?
was like,
Yes. My son told me I was savage. I was like, oh my God.
I love
But,
that.
the weeks on, I really try to focus on them. But they're in school. They don't go to school. They're just here at my house every day. But, they don't need me they don't even want me to make them lunch anymore, which saddens me. I know. They like to mess up the kitchen themselves. But being true men, just, cook and don't clean. But I think the weeks off that I don't have them, that's when I can really focus on a lot of things. And we try to put all of my rigorous stuff during my weeks off when I don't have children. And that's been very helpful. So, and when it's the week on, mommy's working. And I think it has instilled a bit of pride in for me, because before they used to ask me, what do you do all day? And I was like, that's a really good question. What do I do all day?
Oh my goodness. Kids, you gotta love
You
it.
gotta love them.
They're constantly reflecting,
Oh my
right?
gosh.
Reflecting back to you.
Let me tell you,
and making you a better person.
My youngest is 14 and he is a piece of work. He is giving me a run for my money right now.
I love it. I mean, I have 2 boys, so I just can't even imagine them being that age. I'm terrified.
It starts around 10 and then the smell starts to change. So enjoy them.
Goodness.
Enjoy them little.
I love it. Well, this is a fashion moment, and you have just a great sense of style and taste. Do you have a favorite fashion moment of all time? It could be like personal, professional, something you've witnessed, but something that really inspired you.
Well, I think when I went to Raf Simons' first Dior Couture show.
You were there?
I was there. And it was the most beautiful space I've ever seen. Each room was different flowers and different colors. And the show, how he was able to combine modern fashion while still holding on to Dior's classic new look was genius. And of course, I bought something I was like, I've got to have something from this collection, because I thought it was really, I thought it was changing in the fashion world for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And the documentary, Dior and I, really delves into that transition and the process.
And his process. I mean, just with the photographs,
wow.
I know, unbelievable. He's such a genius, and I just adore him. I actually have a little cameo at the end of that documentary.
Oh my goodness. I'm going to rewatch it because I love that documentary. I love it.
I love it too. You know what? I'm going to rewatch it because I watched it. I went to the showing that they did here, and I haven't seen it since. So I need to rewatch that. I might watch this on a rainy day today.
Inspirational.
It's so inspirational. But you do see my little face, and I'm actually wearing Alexis Mabille Couture. That's what I wore to that show. It was a hot day in Paris, I remember. And it's orange and it's beautiful. And I love Alexi as well. I mean, I miss going to all of those shows. And I think they all inspire me. But I did buy one of the cutoff ball gowns from Ralph's show at Dior, because I thought, this is what it is.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was
I'm going to
good.
rewatch everything.
I know.
I'm inspired. I'm like, oh my God, I have to go back and watch the whole
thing. For him to cut off those
collection.
Ball gowns was just, I couldn't get over it. Amazing.
Just so beautiful.
And that's a 2-for-1 special, because I have the top, which you could wear with jeans or something. This is what I told my husband at the time. I can separate, and then I just have these really great black trousers that I can wear.
I love it.
Yeah, it's a 2-for-1.
I love it. Well, Sutton, you are amazing. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to be with us and to be on the show.
Thank you,
We're going to
Kirsten.
continue watching your journey. And obviously, shopping at Sutton.
Yeah.
You're online.
Yeah,
as well.
we're
gonna
online.
make
It's the Sutton.
that.
It's the SuttonConcept.com. And it's a really great website. It's fun to just peruse, and it's like looking at a magazine, I think. So
It really is.
Aw.
I love it. And I love that you're opening your space for events. So definitely check that out.
Yeah.
My LA friends. And when I'm in town, I will definitely
when
have
you
to stop
come
by.
when you come to town, let me know, so I will definitely be there. And
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you,
And
Kirsten.
Congratulations on all of your projects. We'll be watching. And obviously, you're always welcome to come back on the show.
Well,
if you have something going on, let us know.
Take notes this season and tell me what I've done wrong.
Oh God. Not at all. We love you, Sutton. No worries.
Y'all are sweet.
We love the show. Thank you
Well,
so much.
this was fun. Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
All right.
Thank you, Sutton.
See you later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks so much for joining me for this week of A Fashion Moment. If you like what you hear, we'd love for you to join our community of listeners and spread the word about the show. We also want to hear from you. Share your favorite fashion moments and dream guests with us by sending an audio clip or email to afashionmomentpodcast@gmail.com. Or you can tag us on Instagram at A Fashion Moment, and you could be featured on next week's episode. And don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review and let us know what you think. Until then, see you next time for another fashion moment. Podcast production by Rebecca Rashid and John Taylor Williams. Digital media production by Megan Porras.
This recording carries a Creative Commons 4.0 international license. Thanks to Patrick Patricios for their song, Hot Coffee.